Okay, I have to ask you about Cardinal Pell. So I got two stories about him.
Oh,
selfishly, I really would like to just ask every guest who's ever met him a story about him. I was asked to evangelize in Melbourne several years ago, and he was in the prison up the street. So my wife and I got to go and pray.
You went to see him?
I didn't go to see him.
Couldn't see him.
No, I only met him once in an airplane for about 3 minutes.
Wow.
My bishop introduced me to him. I didn't know who he was at the time, so I wasn't that interested.
Wow.
But I got to pray outside of his prison cell. But one story I know is I was at the NAC recently, and one of the seminarians said that they loved when he would come. So he would come and they would have adoration, and he would appoint a seminarian to sit by him, and his job was to poke him when he would inevitably fall asleep and start snoring. So I thought that was a good story. But a lion of a man. I love him. He's a fellow countryman. I've read his diaries, which I thought were so beautiful.
Oh, yeah, the prison diaries.
Yeah, people should get them. They're really... Here's what I always say.
Do people know the story? You want to? How he got there?
I'll let you tell it. But let me just say this about him: if I were put in prison and in solitary confinement the way he was, I'm not too good to make myself a victim and a martyr. He never did.
No, he didn't.
He spoke about it like, I'm just taking a long retreat to make up for the times that I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, the humility on that man was incredible.
No, he was a man.
But yeah,
he was a man.
Tell our audience about Cardinal Pell and your personal interactions with him, if you could.
Cardinal Pell was, I guess I can tell this now. Forgive me, Cardinal George. Cardinal Pell was a outspoken, rugby-playing tower of a man.
Yeah. Aussie rules, I think. Rules.
Aussie rules. Yeah. And when he walked into the room, everybody looked at Cardinal Pell. He looked like a George Washington figure. He was just a leader. You knew he was a leader when he walked in. But on top of that, he had a great wit.
Bring the mic down a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. He had a great wit. He had a marvelous grasp of reality and where we were. Wonderful man of deep faith. But he also was canny about the world. And during the election, he was instrumental in helping elect Pope Benedict. And here's what I mean by that. He went out, and during the general congregations, which after a pope dies, they're general congregations where the cardinals meet every day, but they're not in conclave yet. Conclave is after 9 days of mourning, or however long, they seal them up in the Sistine Chapel and they vote. That's conclave. You can't talk to anybody, can't see anybody. No. But the 9 days of mourning is where the general congregation, and frankly, the horse show happens. And that's where men begin to emerge, that they're looking at each other and going, where are we headed here? And inevitably, people turned to Cardinal Pell, and Cardinal Pell turned to them and said, you should give your eye over here to this fella. And it was Benedict in the first round. In the second round, when Benedict retired, and there was deep bitterness about that from many parlants, including Cardinal Pell's.
Really?
He couldn't make sense of that. But he got very engaged in the process, and he was looking for, and I believe the church at large was looking for, a reformer who could fix the financial woes of the Vatican, clean up the corruption in the Curia, and bring clarity to the teaching. But the chief thing was clearing up the corruption in the Curia and bringing fiscal responsibility to the Vatican. That's somehow became the most important thing. He was to reform the church, the mechanisms of the church, not remake doctrine. And Cardinal Pell was pushing and a great advocate for Bergoglio, who became Pope Francis. When Francis was elected, Cardinal George becomes the head of the Vatican Financial Secretariat to do the primary job that Francis was elected to do, clean up the finances and get the corruption out. He was also, Cardinal Pell, appointed to the 9 group of cardinals, the Gang of 9, that advised Pope Francis weekly.
So Pope Francis was friendly with him in the beginning?
In the beginning. Pell started freezing all the accounts, yanked all the numbers, brought Price Waterhouse in to do an audit, did his own internal audit with the individuals who were in European banking. And just before the Price Waterhouse auditors walked in the door, Pope Francis called him and told him, we're canceling the audit. He said, what? And he said, we're going to cancel the audit. We're not going to do that. What are you talking about? And he said, well, they feel, the other cardinals feel this is too invasive, and you're already asking questions and freezing accounts and looking into their computers, and we're not doing that. This isn't the way of the church. Well, Pell was not happy about that. But what he told me was he found billions of dollars, with a B, billions, of unmarked accounts, just numbers, that belong to, I don't want to scandalize anybody, churchmen and parishes and cardinals and bishops all over the world. And he said, yeah, Raymond, we found a lot of honeypots. And he said, wherever there are honeypots, there are lots of honeys. And they started doing the digging and finding it was beachfront properties in apartments in Miami and, the boyfriends in the Riviera. And I mean, it was, and I think as he began to unpeel that onion, because the finances are at the heart of so much of the corruption, what I said earlier, poor church, holy church.
Yeah.
He believed that too, I think, at the end. As he peeled back all of that corruption, I think there were people who felt exposed, powerful people in the Vatican, and they wanted him out. And he contended that $2 million flew out of the Vatican bank and landed in the Australian diocese that he once led. And suddenly, two men come forward and claim that Cardinal Pell molested them. And not only molested them, did it like after Mass.
Oh my gosh.
It was in the most absurd. I mean, like
despicable. What they
while he's dressing for Mass and after Mass. It's like there's 20 people in the room. This is absurd. I mean, on its face, it was absurd and he knew it. He could have, and the offer, I'm told, he didn't confirm this for me, but I was told that we just never talked about this. The offer was made for him to stay at the Vatican. You have a Vatican passport.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just stay here. We'll take care of you. Of course, you get off the financial secretariat.
Right. So you'll only get prosecuted, or the potential of being prosecuted would only come into effect if you went back to Australia.
Right.
And he chose to do that.
He chose to go back. He said, nope, I'm packing my bags. I'm going to clear my name.
What a man.
He told them, I'm going to clear my name. And he went and he did clear his name, but it took him, as you know, 3 trials, years in solitary confinement, brutalized. He comes back to Rome after the Supreme Court waived, exonerated him. And
every one of them. Every one of the charges in the High Court of Australia. Yeah,
right.
This is clearly insane. Yeah, it was an absolute insane witch hunt.
Yes.
What a man.
But
to
the
be
question
able to stand
is,
there
but that's
as the whole
what
world
caused
hates
it.
you.
But that's what caused it. He had poked the beehive.
I had heard that, I heard from a good source that he absolutely had his apartment bugged. You know of this?
He said it to me, yeah. Yeah, he had the apartment bugged.
This is what I love about being Catholic, Raymond. People who aren't Catholic are listening to this. We're like, why would you ever want to be Catholic? I'm like, no, it's awesome. Everything. It's,
you know why?
Probably the most corrupt institution on the planet is the Catholic Church. Can you think of another one?
Well, let's explain why. But
okay.
Let's explain why.
Yep.
Because the stakes are so high. The stakes are really high. If salvation and the future of humanity didn't hang in the balance, they wouldn't be fighting this hard. The devil runs around the place. He's trying to rip it apart and tear it down. Why? Why expend the effort? If it's an old musty thing, running around in those satin gowns, don't worry about it.
100%.
No. It matters.
Yeah.
What they're doing matters. What it is matters. Whose bones they stand upon matters. And Pell got caught, I think, in the crossfire of this. He poked the bear. Too many names.
There were churchmen then who bugged his apartment.
Yeah.
That's bananas. Yeah. It sounds like an espionage film.
And the circumstances of his death troubled me.
Can we talk about that? I don't mean to be sensational. We don't have to if you don't want to.
He had a hip replacement. I mean, he had hip replacement surgery, allegedly, at the hospital. I don't know why he wouldn't do that in New York or somewhere.
Can I tell you what?
Yeah, tell me the story.
A cardinal told me this directly. I won't say which cardinal. Okay. The reason he didn't go back to Australia And the reason why on earth would you go to a Roman hospital, this cardinal joked to me, he said is he was convinced that Pope Francis was about to die and he wanted to be an influential voice at the next conclave. That's what I had heard. And so that's why he chose not to go back to Australia, because he didn't think he'd be able to come back as quick or whatever. That's why he stayed.
Wow.
According to
Wow. Oh, he was convinced. He told me years before Pope Francis died, oh, he's on the last leg now, poor guy. We got to pray for him, Raymond. He's bad. Oh, he's bad off. Poor fellow's breathing. He's heaving himself up. I'm worried. I'm praying. Pray hard for him.
God bless him.
So he felt even years before he was convinced Pope Francis. It took
a
years
saint, not a prophet, but a saint.
Definitely a saint.
Not a prophet in that sense.
His writings are spectacular.
Yeah.
I think he truly was trying to root out the corruption and got caught in the middle of too much of it.
So in addition to the bugging of the apartment, are there other stories that you heard from him?
Well, the payment that may have gone to the guys who accused him. Yeah, there's that. But then there was the hip surgery, and the circumstances of the death are very murky, I have to say.
Okay.
He dies. He dies during the surgery or after the surgery. And the body was returned to the family, and I've heard stories, but I'm not sure of. That I'm not going to get to, but I know his body was sent back, but there were concerns about the way his body was treated. I'm concerned. I'm not comfortable, though, sharing all of that because I haven't gotten confirmation from
Cardinal Pell, pray for us.
Please.
Yeah, it was beautiful to be back in Sydney. For last few years, I've been back twice to evangelize, just to go and pray at his tomb. And
God bless him.
Yeah.
Great hero. We need many more like him. And I hope there will be. I think there will be.
Oh, there will be.
I think there will be.
Thank you very much for watching that Pints with Aquinas clip. If you like it, do me a favor, click like and subscribe. And please offer a Hail Mary for the work of Pints with Aquinas and all the people we're trying to reach. God bless you.